Mais uma vez, muito boa tarde.
So welcome back. We're on the home run for this APDC Congress. We were speaking about digitalization and all that happens in this ever-changing world. We're now going to listen to the Minister for Infrastructures, our infrastructures that have been studied and praised. Welcome, Mr. Pedro Nuno Santos. Good afternoon. I'd like to start by thanking the APDC for the kind invitation. Mr. Carapuça, thank you for inviting me. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you. I'd like to greet APDC for their contribution to such an important sector for our country. Your annual conferences have become a moment of reference in the state of electronic communications and the future of the sector in Portugal. This year's conference has proven the benefits for companies and families of technologies such as artificial intelligence, virtual reality, 5G, and so forth. These technologies will have an important impact on the digitalization of public administration and the capacity to increase the efficiency and the swiftness in providing public services to citizens. In order for this transformation to change, however, we need electronic infrastructures that are of great quality. The fixed networks with high capacity and mobile networks with 5G technology. These are the essential infrastructures for the digital transition of the economy and society to become reality. The telecoms sector has known how to respond to the needs of citizens and businesses, investing and contributing to this rapid digital transition. Portugal is one of the countries in the European Union with the largest rate or the highest rate of coverage. However, after 15 years of the beginning of investment, the country is still not totally covered. These networks with large capacity are a reality in urban areas, but they have to reach the hinterland and low-density areas in respect for the population and their businesses. The importance of these networks justifies the government's commitment to promote access of all to digital infrastructures that we need to live and work. The government is very attentive to this problem, and in the previous legislature, a series of measures were adopted to contribute for Portugal to meet the deadlines set by the European Commission for total coverage of the population with gigabyte networks. This public policy will require an effort on behalf of the state that will assume the funding in the implementation of large capacity networks across the board where the private operators have not invested or do not intend to invest. The government is helping municipalities in areas without coverage with high speed, the so-called white areas, with public tenders that will be launched before the end of this year. We understand that this joint effort will keep Portugal as an international example at the level of availability of electronic communications and networks that are most advanced, and that we can come close to the country we wish to live in, a country that is territorially cohesive, without any digital cleavage, and where everyone has the same opportunities to access these high-speed networks. Regarding the digital infrastructures, I'd like to also mention the increasing importance of undersea cables. We know that Europe is a peripheral country in Europe. It's a problem that has affected Portugal for a long time. If we can delocalize markets, we don't have to carry the country from the periphery to the center of Europe. That's why we are conditioned by our geography, but we're not prisoners of it. And our history proves, as we know, in several moments of time, we have been able to overcome our difficulties. And so the Portuguese sailors for centuries made Portugal a core country in connecting Europe and other countries with their trade, making the most of its geographical position. Nowadays, the trade comes and goes to and from our ports and are stored at logistics centers But apart from merchandise, we also market with data. We don't use vessels only, we use the undersea cables, and we need data centers for logistics. The relationship with the country with underwater cables has 150 years of history, first with the telegraph, then with the coaxial cables, and now with digital cables, contributing to connect Europe and Portugal to the world, exploring the advantages of our uniqueness and to the access that we have to the Atlantic axis, the North Atlantic, Africa and South America, as well as to the east-west axis across Europe and the Mediterranean. Portugal is thus in a good position to perform a key role in the new European Atlantic gateway platform. Our coast has the best conditions to install and operate undersea cables, and the access from Carcavelos to Seychelles has become more and more important internationally. After the LL link, more international undersea cables are being installed in a short period, with many others that are looking at Portugal for opportunities. From the viewpoint of national investment, the new ring that connects the continent to Açores and Madeira, CAM, will reinforce connections between continental Portugal and the islands, enabling territorial cohesion and bringing our islands to the international database centers to maximize the opportunities that undersea cables are giving us. Portugal will invest on data centers. We have started to build the first mega data center in this 4.0 project that will make Sines one of the most important data centers in Europe. This project involves a global investment of 3.5 billion euros until it's built in 2027, creating qualified jobs and providing the region with a business ecosystem and virtuous ramifications for the nation's economy. At the end of the day, that's what infrastructures are for, and undersea cables. To make our economy more, to make it stronger, to improve the conditions. That's what we need to do. Thank you very much and good afternoon.
Das infraestruturas, Pedro.
So the infrastructures, Pedro Nuno Santos, announcing the public tenders for the total coverage of the country. Those are white areas. But now we're going to talk about the state of the nation of telecommunications.